So what does that have to do with Jen? Because Jen has participated, well, actually, let me be more clear. Let me be very clear on what I'm trying to say. Jen has invoked a race war in the city of Phoenix. I mean, all over Arizona, like wherever she goes, she declares war against people of color. Let's not get into it. Let me be very clear about that. She has invoked war against people of color everywhere she goes. She's following me wherever I go. You know, I mean, it's not right, but that's the reality of the situation. So, because she's a police officer, she has put herself in a position to make white police officers choose between white privilege and racism or moral integrity. And I've been like an eyewitness to her putting police officers in that position to make a choice. Because she would immediately attack either me or somebody else that was a person of color. And then the other police officers that were witnesses had to make a choice between participating in the abuse or checking her, whether it was in front of me and the other detainees, or it was behind closed doors. But every single encounter that Jen has had with people of color, almost every time, it was because of racial profiling, and she would act violently towards people of color. Most of the time they were innocent. She didn't act like this with people who were clearly guilty, that were destructive to the community. She acted like this towards, law-abiding citizens, innocent people who did not deserve to be detained or experience that trauma. I've been an eyewitness to her not only doing this to me, but she did this to other people. Like, this is no joke. And the other cops that were standing there, some of them were people of color that were, police officers that were working with her. Some of them weren't. So she made every last one of them choose between privilege, whatever privileges they had, security, comfort, or putting their life and job on the line to stand up for the victim. That was the position that she put a lot of people in. And I mean, she did what needed to be done because like I said, people's character needed to be tested. People needed to make a choice. It was a clear line between good and evil, black and white. Most of the time, people say that there's a gray area. And most times there is. But with Jen's behavior, there was a clear, are you on my side on this race war, or are you an enemy? That's how Jen was coming. But she couldn't just come right out and say, hey, I'm racist, I don't like black people. No, because she knows that a lot of people would not have supported her. She had to be sneaky. She had to be deceptive. Like I said before, she's very sneaky. That's how she moves. And in order to get people on her side, she has to love bomb them and manipulate them and make them feel like, they're above the world and that she's loyal to them. She was very skilled at pretending to be a good person. She had me fooled. She had so many people fooled that were a good judge of character. There was a lot of people that were a good judge of character that she went under the radar with it because she had manners. See what I mean? She had moral principles despite being a racist rapist / murderer. Right? She had morals. That was the only gray area in this situation, was that she had moral principles. Everything else was a clear black and white with her. And I mean that literally, no pun intended. Like, it was black and white with her. She literally started a race war at Cass / Andre House. And she made the environment as unbearable for people of color as possible. Even the white people she threw under the bus. Because she has that old mentality of, this is for la raza. O porque la raza. I don't know the slogan, but I used to hear it in the song all the time. They play it on San Andreas. This is for the raza. She had that mentality. She had that, social caste system, hierarchy via, racial genetics. She was a practicer of eugenics. Like that's I mean, she lives and breathes, Anglo-Saxon Christianity mixed with eugenics. Like that's her entire mentality. And for the most part, that was her character. This is not an exaggeration because I've had to deal with her firsthand and I've witnessed her treat me and other people like that. It was horrible dealing with her because she was so abusive. I mean, every inch of power that she had, she made sure to abuse it. So, when it came down to, poisoning people's food, racially profiling them as a police officer, poisoning people's water, like so when they take a shower, they're more likely to catch something, giving people dirty towels to clean their bodies with. Like this, I mean, she was inhumane. She was inhumane. She was cruel. She was devilish. Like these are marks within her character that I had to bring to light. Because she's responsible for so many people getting sick, passing around. She would intentionally, like she's I don't know what her I don't know what her living situation is, and I really don't prefer to talk about people's medical records because that's very private and confidential. But she's been going around intentionally spreading STDs to people to kill them. Like she was a war machine with no conscience. She had no conscience at all. She would rape people, more specifically women, not only getting the intentions to get them pregnant, trap them and keep them stuck to put them in their place. But she would intentionally spread STDs to hold people back so that she was always the one in charge and so that people would need her and depend on her for help. She would intentionally create scenarios to destroy people's lives so that she could swoop in and come in as a knight in shining armor and save the day so that people thought that she was a hero. She had a Lex Luthor complex. She had a Lex Luthor complex where, you know how Lex Luthor, he would cause all these different scenarios. He would cause all these different scenarios in Gotham City. Killing people, making them sick, making them dependent on him. And he always had these plans to save the day. But then Superman would swoop in, or Batman, whatever your choice was, would come in and save the day and make him look like a piece of garbage. And that was because, well, Superman knew Lex Luthor enough to know that Lex Luthor was never up to any good. And any time that he's offering help, he's the one that created that dynamic for people. That was the type of person that Jen was. Anytime she offered her help, you knew that not only is she responsible for your suffering, but she's about to inflict 10 times more if you accept her help. That's so parasitic to be that toxic. That's so parasitic. And it's illegal as well. And these are the type of people that the government has to unfortunately get rid of because they're so parasitic. It's nothing you can do with them because they're so far gone. They're gone. They have no conscience. They have no soul. They have their moral principles are not even enough to save their soul, And sometimes when a higher power makes that call that somebody has to go, they have to go.